participant's profile. So, ano pong pangalan niyo?
Okay, I am teacher Janet T. Villar, a graduate of Philippine Normal University, major in mathematics. I took the Bachelor of Science in Elementary and Secondary Education and I graduated in 1986.
Does students hard to assess? Why or why not?
I think it is easy to assess the students in a way that it would help in the effectivity of learning. But it depends also on what kind of assessment you're going to use.
According to grade level of the students, what are the methods of assessment you are using to assess them during the face-to-face classes?
During the face-to-face classes, I use various types of assessment. I use the question and answer assessment as the traditional way of assessing the level of students. And also, I use the paper and pencil. Different types of assessment like summative assessments. Also, I assess during the face-to-face classes more on interactive.
How effective these methods did you use in your students?
Very effective. They are very effective. You see, I know I can assess where can I start or where can I help the student, especially if the student is not doing well in the class. Using the assessments, you can assess whether you can say whether the student understood the lesson or not. And there you can insert your remediation. That's why we assess, because we need to know where the student is. Because in teaching, we have to start where the students are.
Is there a time that the methods of assessment you use is not working? If yes, what are your plans to solve this issue?
Usually in the written assessments, I found, let's say for example, the results of the test is very low. That means the performance level of the students are not good. So that is where you can do your remediation.
Despite of the pandemic, how are you assessing your students?
This time, for the pandemic, wherein we are doing the modular and the blended learning, we use the telekumustahan. We are giving online classes with our students, so they do the recitation, so there is interaction online, and there you can assess whether they understood or not the lesson. Also, we give summative tests which will be submitted during the retrieval of outputs as scheduled. Another one is by giving them interactive activities. If they can interact, then that's a good sign.
How effective these methods you use in your student, like yung telekumustahan ko?
I found it effective during the kumustahan. That's the time they will bring out their problems.
In your opinion, in assessing students, which is better, during face-to-face classes or online distance learning, and why?
It's easier to assess students face-to-face. After the lesson, you assess. After the assessment, you can immediately give the remediation. That's the advantage. You can cater for individual differences immediately. While in the face-to-face, you cannot do that. Of course, we are relying only on the net and at the same time on the availability of the student.
In your perspective, how relevant assessment in a classroom as a teacher or for students?
This is a very important part of teaching and learning process. You cannot say that you have done your part as a teacher if you did not do the assessment. It is really an essential part of the lessons because that is where you will begin the next lesson again. Of course, in your class, you have to differentiate each student, You group together the fast learners the average, and the slow learners. So if you, after assessing them like that, I get somebody to help me in doing the lessons. No, I request the good ones or the fast learners to help me with the slow ones.
Yes.
I always integrate in my class peer teaching.
Would you give an advice for those who are dealing with difficulties in choosing which method to use?
Strategize. Diversity of activities in the class will make the most boring class an adventurous one.